Hey, and a pleasant good afternoon to you and yours, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. Happy New Year, everybody, as camp is officially underway. And where else would we start other than with the reigning state champion Cocoa Tigers, who today are inside for obvious reasons. All you need to do is look outside your window, and you'll know why. It must be football time if the weather is bad each and every night, especially on Friday nights, right? But all right, as you see the Tigers inside doing some, obviously no pads for a couple of days yet, just in helmets, no, not even any shoulder pads. They are doing ball security drills here. Of course, the offense under the guidance and tutelage of head football coach Ryan Schneider and offensive coordinator Adam Franco. And there you see Coach Schneider, who's entering his sixth season. He's got 50 wins to his credit in 6 seasons, and of course, last year picks up that elusive state championship, his third trip to the big game. We've talked about Coco ad nauseum, really, about what the question marks, not even question marks, but what answers there are to be provided for this team this year to fill in for some of the lost talent that they have, like quarterback Blake Bowden. And there you see on your screen right now the sophomore Brady Hart. And Hart, of course, the Melbourne transfer, setting up and doing what he does in a helmet. There's not much you can do. Although when we used to practice inside, you can really practice on that pinpoint precision passing. There are certain areas of this gym that you can throw to, corners, things of that nature, footwork. You can get down on one knee, practice keeping that elbow up. There's all kinds of things you can do inside as a quarterback. You just can't throw the deep ball. Look, these guys, probably as good as they are and with what they're returning, they probably don't even have to put any pads on until they get to the Kickoff Classic, which is coming up not this Friday, but the following Friday, and that's going to be against the Satellite Scorpions. Let's talk a little bit about that Cocoa Tiger schedule because it's brutal. The combined winning percentage is .649 of the teams they faced from last year. 74-40, I believe, is what it is. But, yeah, Caleb's got that on the screen for you right now. And you look at that schedule, and we'll know a lot about this football team following that third game of the regular season. It's Jones, who was a Final Four team last year. Then it's Venice, who was a state finalist last year. And then it's St. Thomas Aquinas, who was a state runner-up last year, but a state champ the year before. Defensively, they return arguably one of the best front sevens in the entire state. Don't know if you had an opportunity to see a post today that Ray Kamika put up. And it wasn't a rankings post. It was just talking about the best power football programs in the state of Florida. And the Cocoa Tigers were 26th in that ranking. So Cocoa considered the 26th best football program in the entire state of Florida. Me personally, I think they're a little bit higher. But you'll take it. All of the coaches, Coach Bud, all of the coaches here, the Diesels, Dan and Matt. Of course, Matt, the defensive coordinator. Let's talk a little bit about what he's got coming back. And you look at that front line and those linebackers. Obviously, Samadre Hawkins and Parham are BSN candidates for Defensive Players of the Year this coming season. There are several, and we're going to do a big football show coming up the Sunday night before the kickoff of the regular season, not before the kickoff classics, but before the regular season. And we're going to discuss all that and lay out our preseason picks for whom we think the top players in the county will be. But the only question marks that need to be answered on that defense, I mean, they got Lauren Ward coming back. They got Hilson coming back. So the only questions on that defense is in that secondary. Obviously, they lose Cedric Hawkins to the Ohio State Buckeyes, and 3 other D1 backs like Jordan Holmes. So Matt Diesel's got some work to do back there, but it's going to be awfully tough to get the football off when you got a front seven like the Cocoa Tigers have, pressuring the quarterback. Let's talk about that offensive line that returns all 5 starters from a state championship team. And if you stop and think about that, I mean, honestly, I don't ever – and then they get a transfer in as well who's a D1 talent. So they got 6 guys on that line up front that they have to work with. So Hart should be well protected. Whatever issues, and there weren't many as the year wore on last year. Anthony Bridgewater, who graduated, really seemed to grasp that running game and really made some big plays for the Tigers, especially in that Bradford game when he finished off that Bradford defense on a drive. Many Cocoa Tiger fans will simply never forget at the end of that one. But that rushing attack got better as the season progressed last year. I think they'll need to be a little bit better, quicker this year. But again, keep in mind, this coaching staff has put in the work with a sophomore quarterback before, and a damn good one, in the likes of DJ Arroyo. I mean, all DJ did in his sophomore year was lead Cocoa back to the state championship game, a loss against Jacksonville Reigns, but nonetheless, a loss. Coach, a couple minutes? All right. We're not going to talk about the team. We're going to talk about the excitement here with head coach Ryan Schneider. And, Coach, Happy New Year, buddy. I talked to you last night. Man, you just couldn't wait. Did you sleep here last night?
I felt like a kid getting ready to go to Disney World, man. It was I was probably up till 1 in the morning thinking about, what we're going to do and making sure we're ready. And we have a great turnout. We have a great group of kids, a great coaching staff. And we are excited to represent the city of Cocoa and our school the right way.
Coach, with a team as talented as this one is, obviously you go into camp, you want to keep everybody healthy. So how do you, I mean, I know you can't practice that way, but how do you guard against that and getting everybody to that game against Jones?
It's that fine line where we just talk about, being your brother's keeper, practicing smart, stay off the ground. We have certain rules that we don't let our kids chop block or crack back or, we talk to our DBs, if you have a kill shot, don't take it. We're trying to get ready for Jones, get ready for Satellite, not get ready to beat each other up. But we have an old group that understands what we're trying to do, and as you see the turnout, day one in the Mother Nature is Mother Nature, and we're stuck in the gym, but we're getting great work done in here, and I'm excited about the direction and the way our program's heading right now.
We talked to you a lot last week at the Coaches Show at Walk-Ons about the football team. But for you, Coach, a 6th year, they say one of the hardest things to do is win a state championship. They say even harder is to come back and repeat. But that's the obvious goal for this program, year in and year out. How do you temper expectations and keep this talented bunch one game at a time?
You don't temper expectations. We want the expectations. Right. That's Cocoa. That's why we're here. You come to Cocoa to play great opponents and make long runs in the playoffs and compete for state championships and then go to college. Go ahead. No, go ahead. It's just, it's winning the state championship has probably made us more hungry, in my opinion, because we want to do it again. We felt it. We felt like we didn't play a great game. We're kind of disappointed when we played, but we're happy we won the game. But being there, experiencing that, I feel like we're hungrier than we've been in the past.
I saw that today, Coach. Not one of these kids was 30 seconds late coming through that.
We were supposed to start at 4:30. They're in here at 4:05 ready to go.
Right.
I'm sitting there looking at the script going, well, we got to move everything up 25 minutes. But let's go, man. Let's practice. Let's get it on.
It's Cocoa Tiger football. Coach, good luck this year, and we'll be talking to you a lot. Yes, sir.
We have a great team at Go Tigers.
Yes, sir. Coach Ryan Schneider and Caleb, if we would, let's just kind of take a walk down to the defensive side of the football here. If you like, Bud, I'll take this. That way you don't have to back up. And we'll walk down this way. Hopefully we can keep our signal. We'll see. We had this guy in studio a couple weeks ago. Mr. Trout here. You've been on camera a lot this summer. Here's the defensive side of the football. And, of course, the defensive coordinator, Coach Matt Diesel and Dan Diesel. See if we can't get Coach Dan over. All right, we're here with the mayor. Coach, you've been doing this a long time. You still as excited today as you were the first day you walked in a day one workout?
Yeah. First day is always very exciting, and seems like first days in Brevard County in Florida are sometimes in the gym. And the best thing about that is you get to click off that day that you're not in full. So yeah, it's so exciting. Just everybody, you can just sense it. I'm sure it's the same way all around the county and all around the state.
Coach, you return just beasts on that front seven this year. Samadre Hawkins, Parham, and group. Talk about the special talent a guy like a Hawkins and Parham.
It's hard to say. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and being upstairs, and because you're there with me, being upstairs is a great place to see those guys. They feel great. They scrape great. They hustle. They're sideline to sideline. Samadre's got more speed than I think he used to have. Parham's always had speed, so we're going to be tough to run on. That front seven, I called offense a long time. I wouldn't want to call it against 07.
No, I wouldn't either. Coach, let me ask you this. For as long as you've been doing this, obviously, I asked Coach Snyder this, and he said we don't temper expectations here because we are Cocoa. The goal is obviously to win another state championship, but it's day one. You want to keep everybody within themselves and focused on the goal ahead. And I know the coach speak one game at a time. What advice could you offer to keep the excitement in check, so to speak?
Yeah, I can't, it's very difficult, I think, sometimes that you've been striving to achieve that state championship. And let's face it, 2 years ago, we come up 2 points short.
Right.
That made us even hungrier. Right. Well, this is a little different feel this year because we got it. We had the fireworks. That's something I'll never forget. But I think that word repeat has taken over our vocabulary. Coach Schneider uses it all the time, and once you get one, the most important thing, it's one thing to get one. It's another thing to do it again. Right. And I can tell you, when you were there, that was a tough road. That was a tough road. I tell you right now, I still have nightmares about Bradford, and we were just doing the rip technique over here. Well, that fumble down, us up 24-21, they're driving, they fumble into our arms. Right. And then I don't have to tell you about the overtime fumble in the finals. So it was close. These were tough games. So you don't know where it's going to go. So take it day by day, game by game, and appreciate where you've been.
As you get ready for the Kickoff Classic Satellite, and then, that schedule. I mean, I know you guys as coaches got to be going please take the phone from Ryan's hand, but that schedule really does prepare you for the adversity that you faced against the Bradfords and the Florida State Highs.
I can tell you as a longtime head coach, I always like to have at least one win out of the first two. We got no guarantees. I think our week 2 is down there in Fort Lauderdale with St. Thomas. I'm not sure. I just know the first 3 are all nationally ranked teams. But I will tell you this, I think he proved to himself and all of us that tough schedule, we're sitting there 1-3 last year. And then after we lost to Sanford Semmel in overtime, we ran the table. And I think a lot of that had to do with who we played.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Coach. We'll let you get back to work. The mayor, always good to see you. Yes, indeed. That is Dan Diesel, the mayor, I call him, of Titusville. Really, the mayor. In case you don't know, he is the mayor. And here he is. He pulls double duties. Great family, the Diesels. There is no doubt about that. As we're going to be heading down to some youth football practice coming up, Caleb, because we begin our youth football previews as well. Tonight you'll see West Melbourne. We always begin with West Melbourne. We got the 12U Colts tonight, a couple of players, and, of course, the commissioner, Billy Palmer, and the tackle director, Corey Durfus. And then you'll also see tonight live the Melbourne Elite Chargers. We're going to be heading down to Lipscomb Park here in a couple of minutes. And tomorrow we continue our camp tours at Melbourne Central Catholic as we continue our series there and discussing the rise of MCC football. So we'll be down at MCC tomorrow, but had to be at the reigning state champs opening practice, and it's always exciting to be here. And I want to thank Caleb because we're going to get ready and pack up and get out and get on down to Lipscomb Park. But put that preview up one more time. Now we're going to do we're going to do 4. I don't know if anybody out there is watching NFL Network, but they have these NFL training camp shows that they do, where they set up shop for the entire practice and they talk to players and they show some of the practice. Not much of it. We're going to do 4 of those. One of them will be with Cocoa. One is going to be with Heritage. One with MCC. And we are still in search of the 4th. So if you'd like to be locked in as I believe Satellite is the fourth as well. I think we talked to Coach on so Satellite. We'll be locked in on that as well. So we got 2 schools in the south end of the county. We got a beach school, and we got a school here in the north end of the county. A little later on in the week, we'll get up to Titusville and Astronaut, but we'll be live from everywhere with the kickoff classics coming up not this Friday, but next. So for the Cocoa Tigers, the reigning 2S state champs, and Caleb Brown, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.